All right. You want to talk about a company?
Let's do it.
Let's do Tyson Foods. You want to do Tyson Foods first?
Yeah, let's look at Tyson.
All right. Tyson Foods, their symbol is TSN. They're in the farm products industry. I was kind of surprised on that industry. We do see that the short on the float is only 3.5%, 90% institutional owned. The PE ratio, very disappointing, 43.6 versus 17.5. Price to sales looks good at 0.4, same as the industry. Price to book value 1.1 versus 1.3. Price to cash flow 9.6, above the industry at 7.3. And you want these valuation ratios lower than the industry average. And then the PEG ratio does look good, though, 3.5 versus 14.6. And that shows what you're paying for the future growth of the company. Now, Tyson has been struggling for quite a while now. We do see over the last year their earnings were down 55.1% when the industry was down 0.5%. Sales were up only 1.5%, about half the industry growth at 3.3%. And the analysts, not hot on the industry or Tyson, but they say the 5-year earnings per share growth estimate about 4.4 for Tyson versus 6.6 for the industry. Now, Tyson does pay a decent dividend at 3.5%. However, because of all the troubles, their payout ratio is about 146%, which is pretty high. Maybe that will change. Could be some write-offs in those, but I still would kind of question and be careful that could they cut that dividend to maybe save some costs, so be aware of that. Also, too, the current ratio does look good, though, 1.6, not as good as the industry at 2.3. Debt equity 0.5 versus 0.7. We do see a net profit margin of only 0.9% for Tyson Foods versus 2.5% for the industry. Return on equity 2.6% for Tyson versus 6% for the industry. Those not looking very good. And the free cash flow is positive. It's about $1 billion too for Tyson, about the same as the industry. So you like to have that free cash flow during those difficult time frames. Chase, what do you got?
Yeah, I was going to say before I get into the numbers here, kind of pointed out at the beginning of the show about the changes to the food pyramid. And, it's I think it's a positive, but I'm going to say a light positive for a company like Tyson. The change is really kind of prioritizing, meat, whole foods, food like beef, chicken, things of that nature. So I think it would be positive. But the thing that I always joke about with you is I don't think it's really going to change for people. People, when they drink a Coca-Cola or they eat a Twinkie, they don't think they're being healthy. They just do it because they want to do it. So I don't think anybody really looked at the food pyramid before, and I don't think it's going to change going forward. So I think, if anything, it's a light positive to Tyson, but not major.
And you're right. And I don't think they looked at the food pyramid before. I think I remember seeing that in the 6th grade. And you don't, like, every week, like, oh, what's the food pyramid? I mean, it's just something you eat what you want to eat. Again, there's people like us that we try to eat healthy and so forth. But there's, 360 million people in our country. You go to places down south and stuff, they love their fried food.
Well, and I will say the one benefit is, I think before this report, I think the old one was like 250 pages. Oh, yeah. The new one's 10.
Wait, the pyramid chart was 250 pages?
Well, there's a pyramid chart, and then there's like all the guidelines and recommendations. So now it's only 10 pages. So you might actually be able to read this one, the 250-page document. I bet you most people didn't. So we'll see. But we'll get back to Tyson real quick because we're running short on time. Current price here for Tyson, $58.03. 52-week range, low here, $50.56. And the high, $64.36. It's been a rough performer the last 5 years, down 11%. Over the last 10 years, it's only up 11%. So it hasn't really done much. Going forward, though, for the company, we got to September 2027. I see estimated earnings per share of $4.38. We do get a target sell price here, $72.71. So the valuation looks interesting. I think this company's had some problems. Beef, we've talked about beef before. We're, I think, at the lowest herd supply since the 1950s.
Yeah.
I think that's been a big challenge for them. Also, too, their CFO, I think, was definitely the definition of nepotism. He was part of the Tyson family, and he's no longer the CFO.
Oh, he's gone. Wow.
But he got a DUI. He was drunk and showed up in his neighbor's house. I mean, there's this list of issues, and I do question, was he the right man for the job?
He's gone.
I don't think so. So there could finally be a turning point, potentially, for Tyson Foods.
I think that's all good news, and I think there could be some potential here because remember the chicken, the chicken flu, I mean, they've gone through so many things. Could be the time to look at a Tyson Foods.
Yeah, hopefully they're at that bottom and looking up.
Yeah.